Hello, friends. Ooh, give me 1 second here. Slight adjustment in plans for today. How we looking? How's it looking? Hello. Hello, friends. It is Nomad Brad coming to you from my box truck. Happy to see everyone here this evening. Good evening. Good evening. I'm hanging out today in a parking lot in Arizona. My plan was to go up on the roof and hang out and watch the sunset. I'm just kind of hanging out in this sandy, gravelly parking lot, which is where I stayed the night. And so I wanted to go on the roof and show you guys the area and watch the sunset, but it's super windy. I tried just a few minutes ago to go up on the roof, and it was like, it's got to be at least 20-mile-an-hour windstorms. So I figured it's probably not going to be best for audio. I don't want you guys to have to listen to all that. So, but you can see where I'm at. I just stayed in this parking lot last night. I'll give you guys a little walk around anyway. It might be a little bit of wind, but we just won't be on the roof. Oh, so here we are. It's pretty cool. It's just, it's just kind of down. It's like this little kind of a main street. They have some different stores and shops, and and he hasn't even moved. So anyway, it's a good spot for nomads. I'm gonna head back in the truck. Ugh. Okay, we're back in the safety of the Nomad Bradmobile. No wind in here. It's comfortable. It's like 70, what is it, 77 in here? Got the AC running all day. Staying comfortable. I'm gonna pull up the chat on my laptop here so I can read it full screen. Doing the chat on the iPhone is not ideal. It's hard to read it. Give me a minute. Let me log in here, and then I'll answer you guys' questions. We're just hanging out tonight. No agenda. I'm wrapping up some projects here in Arizona. I just did a solar install yesterday, and that will be on Sunday's video if you guys want to see a solar install. Kind of a smaller one, but we still installed solar. And I'm wrapping up here in Yuma, so I'm hoping to take off next week. Hit the road, head north into northern Arizona, and then spend the summer kind of traveling around, getting into the nature, and should be a fun time. Excited about it. Okay, here we go. All right, I got the chat up. Let's see what you guys got going on. Let me try to get these somewhat close so I can look at you guys and read the chat. Okay, here we go. Otaku Van Life says, please show any install you do. I need to learn. Yeah, absolutely. So Sunday's video will be a little install. You guys can check it out. We got Lynette Tenazas from Phoenix. Hello, Lynette. Happy to have you here. Kristen is in the chat. Hello, Kristen. She lives in converted basically a Suzu NPR called Big Homie. They're here in Arizona, up in Havasu. Happy to see you guys. Right now, I'm on the. She asked what internet I'm using. I'm currently using my Connecten, which runs on the. It runs on many different networks. I'm not sure what it's on right now. I did install Starlink, but I haven't activated it yet. I'm going to. I haven't got to it. Um, Honestly, the Connect 10 works really well for me at least, and so I haven't done it. I need to. So the Starlink will be up and running before I leave town here. It's all ready to go. I just need to download the app and, like, I don't know, turn it on or whatever. We also have AJ in the chat. What's up, dude? Box Truck Crew out of Lake Havasu. That rhymes. Box Truck Crew out of Lake Havasu. Happy to have you here, AJ. Candyman's asking about my fridge. What make and model is your fridge? So the fridge I use, it's a DC compressor refrigerator. Um, they don't make it anymore. I got it. Chris Fox is here from the main streets of Austin. Happy to see you here, Chris. How's your solar doing? Chris was having some solar performance issues, and so I'm curious. Chris, if you looked at the inverter wattage and what you were seeing. I know you were seeing low numbers on the Victron. Curious to see what your Sun Gold inverter said. Someone's asking about the fridge. It's this guy right here. It's a Mr. Frozen. That's literally the brand of it. Um, it's kind of an odd unit. There's no like sticker label on it. There's no model number or anything. And I got it on super clearance when I did this build out. I was on a super budget, so I got it on clearance, and they don't even make it anymore. But it's worked out really well for me. If you guys want something similar, you can get one from Rec Pro. It's basically the same unit. It looks identical. They're probably all made by the same people anyway. Yeah, it's a CCP generic. Yeah, it's anyway. You can get one from Rec Pro. They're like 500 bucks. It's a great unit. I recommend it. The only downside is you have to manually defrost the freezer, which I just did the other day. It's not a huge deal. It's just something to keep in mind. Crate Train says, "What's up? What's up, Crate Train? Happy to have you here. Arizona Online is in the chat from East Coast Canada. Hope it's warming up for you guys up there." Matt F, how is our favorite Nomad? I'm doing good, Matt F. I'm having a good time. I really enjoyed hanging out here um, in this parking lot. I just love just staying in weird places. I guess that's just me, but I just like being new places and just constant variety. So I'm doing good. Happy to be out and really looking forward to the summer road trip. Excited about it. The wind is shaking the whole box truck. It's so windy. It's got to be like 30 miles an hour. It's so windy out there. I don't know if you can see on camera, but there's like, you can't really see it, but there's like dust clouds just blowing across the parking lot. So definitely not a good day to be on the roof. Maybe it'll cool down a little bit. We can watch the sunset. Who knows? We'll see what Mother Nature has in store. Desert Runner Rick in the house. Hello, Rick. Happy to see you, man. Happy to see you from California. I want to mention something really quick. Talking about California, a lot of people have been asking me about San Diego, because last summer I was in San Diego like all summer, stealth camping, having a great time, posted a bunch of videos with a huge community of van dwellers, and we had some big ass box trucks all parked up in San Diego all summer. It was fun. We had to move a lot, and we got tickets once in a while. We got ran out of a few places, and so, but overall, it was successful, right? Like it wasn't unbearable, but it's unlike other places. But what I wanted uh, to tell you guys is, it sounds like San Diego's cracking down a little bit heavier on parking. And I just talked to Sir on Dave, and he said they got kicked out of a spot. And from what I can see, there's a lot more people going to San Diego. And so I don't want to put out any misinformation. I don't want to be responsible for like encouraging a bunch of people to flood into San Diego. I just want you guys to know right off the bat, I don't think San Diego is a good spot for long-term stealth camping. Like if I were you and you're in a vehicle, I would not plan on spending months at a time in San Diego. If you're passing through and you want to check it out, that's one thing, but you got to keep it moving. And that's part of the reason I don't have plans to go back to San Diego. It's beautiful, but it's kind of rough being a nomad. So that's just my advice. I would say, probably try to avoid it if you can. Maybe cruise through and check it out, but don't plan on staying there. Or if you do stay there, just know it's going to be a little bit of a battle. You have to do a little bit of battle. So that's my advice on San Diego. Matt says, "Hey, hello, Matt. Dino Lindsay, happy to have you here. RD Vaughn, RD Vaughn in 70. Let's go. Let's go. I'm excited about it. Let's go. Let's do it. Will Ty's here from Kentucky. Revo Runners here in the chat. Nomad Tim. Box Truck Boys. That's right. Talked to Dave today, the other Box Truck boy. He's hanging out in San Diego. Windy in Maricopa, 90 high 93. It was definitely cooler today. I want to report my solar and battery system is doing excellent. I had a couple days here where it was hot, like 100 degrees and overcast. And so my battery bank dipped a little bit where it wasn't able to fully charge every day. But that's the benefit of having an oversized battery bank, is that you can not fully charge it for a few days and just kind of keep going. And then when you get a full day of sun, it brings it right back. So for me, my battery bank hasn't been at a full charge for probably 3 days. I was getting it up to about 85% by the evening and then drawing it down to like high 60s by the morning. Um, no issues, but I'm just saying. But then today it was cooler. It got to like low 90s today, and so my battery bank is now fully charged. And that's with running the air conditioner, doing all my cooking, TV, all the normal stuff. So, 1280 watts of solar with a 10,000 watt hour battery bank is treating me very nice. I recommend it. I'd recommend more solar for anybody that's curious, but 1280 is doing just fine. Slugworth says Team Foothills. Team Foothills. I've met quite a few people in person down here in the foothills. I've had people just drive by and see my van and stop to say hi. I talked to a gentleman yesterday. They just pulled up in his car and we chatted for a bit. And then I ran into like three guys in Planet Fitness that knew me. So it's kind of cool, just to see subscribers and meet them in person. And one thing I really appreciate is everybody I've met in person has been super cool. Like no weirdos, nobody that's been like, not a fan, nobody that's been like angry or trying to accuse me of, stealing free parking or anything. So everyone's been super cool, and I'm grateful that we have a good community here. And so I think I try to put out positivity, and I think it comes back in person. So I always enjoy meeting subscribers. You guys are super cool, and look forward to more meetups. I'm going up to Northern Arizona this summer. I'm planning to meet with Journey with Nicole. She's a OG subscriber, and so she emailed me and said I'm welcome to stop by. I haven't responded to her yet, but if Nicole watches this live stream, I do need to email you back, and I do plan to come up and visit. Okay, let's pop back in the chat, see what's happening, see what's going on. Shaggy Adventures. Shaggy Adventures is here as a channel member. I appreciate you, Shaggy, for signing up for a membership. He says, "Day a car mine is a full size Murphy that folds long ways, and it's awesome." I wonder if that's what Scott has. Scott Schaefer, the guy, the box truck I installed solar on out in the desert, he has a Murphy bed that was like full length, but it was a side fold. So when you flip it up, or flip it down, it's only like I don't know 4 feet wide, so you still have like a walking room. That is me, Shaggy Adventures. What is you? Are you? Did I meet you? Are you one of my subscribers? Did I meet you here in Yuma? Um, Vantime Van Life says hi to all the nomads and Brad. Hello, Vantime Van Life. Happy to have you here. Chuck says, I have a Burning Man item I want to send you. Where can I mail it? Ooh, that's tough, Chuck. I appreciate a Burning Man item, but I don't have an address anymore. I'm gonna be leaving this area by my dad's house in about a week, and I'm not gonna be able to receive mail. So I don't think I will be able to accept it, but I do appreciate it. You're about a week late, my man. High tower. Oh, chat just blew up. High tower. My journey question. I have 200 amp hours of lithium. Can you explain the difference between 12 and 24 volts? 12 and 24 volts. Yeah, I talk about it quite a bit. I recommend a 24-volt system if you're doing a larger electrical system and you are going to be running a lot of 120-volt appliances, like an air conditioner, especially. It's more efficient. And when you're converting from a 24 volts up to 120, it's more efficient than going from 12 to 120. Additionally, 24 volt uses smaller cables, smaller fuses, smaller wiring. It's cheaper. You can send power without as much voltage drop. And a big thing too is when you're doing solar panels, it's easier to add large panels onto a 24-volt system rather than a 12 volt. So there's a lot of reasons, but basically, if you're doing 1,000 watts of solar or more, and you're going to be running a lot of 120-volt appliances with an inverter, if you're doing a 3,000-watt inverter, I recommend a 24-volt battery bank. There's really no downside to it, and you can get a lot of appliances that run on 24 volts. My fridge is 24. You can get a diesel heater that's 24 volts. My LED lights are 24 volts. You can get a water pump that's 24. So you won't need to do too many things on 12 volts. 24 is better. Otaku van life, what are your thoughts on N-type solar panels? What is an N-type solar panel? I gotta look this up. Superior efficiency and performance, advanced oxide, yada, maximize sunlight conversions even in low light, exceptional durability, higher output with a longer lifespan. Yeah, I mean, it's a new technology. I haven't messed with them. I mean, I got some old monocrystalline panels. My main concern is I think everybody should be using rigid panels where they can. I do not recommend flexible panels, and these look rigid. So yeah, go for it. It's a rigid panel. So I would say why not? Try it out. They're not crazy expensive. They're a little more expensive than like mono or poly, but not crazy expensive. Bougie RV has a 200-watt N-type panel for 250 bucks, so that's not bad. So yeah, definitely try it out. I mean, with anything, I would just watch review videos. You know, I haven't experienced them myself, so I can't really speak to their quality or output or all that type of stuff. So I would just go to YouTube and just look for an N-type panel review. I would try to watch a few of them and just see overall what people are saying, but it looks good to me. There's a lot of new tech that comes out. I mean, I can't stay on top of all of it. And because I live in my van, I don't have like a big warehouse where I can store a bunch of stuff. You know, I wish I could have a warehouse. Well, I mean, it'd be nice to have a warehouse where I could store all these things and do all kinds of tests and stuff, but I'm not there right now. I'm not at that point. Nautilus, hello from North Carolina. Happy to see you, Nautilus. Welcome to the chat. Dino Lindsay with a super chat. Thank you, Dino Lindsay. I appreciate you. Also, Utaku Van Life with the super chat as well. Every super chat I get, every dollar is going towards the next build out. I'm so excited. I dream about it. I think about it. I lay in bed at night and think about it. I'm so pumped. It's going to be amazing. Um, oh, Shaggy Adventures. That's Scott. Okay, Scott. Hi, happy to see you here, man. I didn't realize your YouTube handle was Shaggy Adventures. Happy to see you here, bro. I'm curious. Where you at? How you doing, man? I haven't seen Scott in a few weeks since he was back in the desert. We were hanging out in California. Matt AK is here. Says, "What's up, fam?" Jason says, "Where you at right now?" I'm in Yuma, Arizona. I'm in a parking lot. My plan was to go up on the roof and do a live stream from the roof and watch the sunset, but it got super windy. The wind was blowing like 30 miles an hour. But honestly, I'm looking at the palm trees and they look really calm. So it's possible the wind died down. We'll give it a few minutes. If the wind stays moderate, we'll go up on the roof and check it out. It's kind of a cool spot. Yeah, I'm just in like this gravel parking lot. I stayed here last night, and it's been yeah super peaceful. It's really easy in Arizona to stealth camp. You can find parking almost anywhere. Candyman says, "Bro, is it a 400 amp hour lithium battery you have?" I have two 400. What are they? 460. I have two 460 amp hour Epoch lithiums, but it's at 24 volts. So when you double the voltage, you you divide the amp hours in half. So at 12 volts, it's a 460 amp hour battery bank. I'm sorry, at 24 volts, it's a 460 amp hour battery bank. At 12 volts, it's 800. Nine? I don't know. I'm over it. I'm over it, guys. I don't know. Okay, John C. Hey, Nomad Brad, you and you beautiful people. John C. Happy to have you here. Welcome to the chat. We're hanging out in the parking lot, waiting for the wind to die down so we can go up on the roof. Adventures with Super Dave. Hello, happy to have you here. Welcome to the chat. We're just hanging out, talking about van life. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in. I'm winding down my time in Yuma, getting ready to hit the road. Next live stream will probably still be in Yuma. I think I have one more week here. I got to finalize some stuff. I got to shoot a Blue Eddy video before I leave my dad's, and then I'm taking off. So probably 2 weeks from now, we'll be on the road, traveling, checking out stuff. It's gonna be a good time. Beth says, "Love your van layout. Are you still selling it?" I'm selling it. It's for sale, but I'm traveling now, so I'm not gonna sell it till the winter. I'll relist it in the winter and I'll adjust the price. So yeah, if you guys are curious about it, you can find out in the winter. Jay Stewart says, "I missed where you're at tonight." Hello, Jay. Happy to see you. I got your email. Jay's building the ProMaster, and he has some electrical questions. So I'll probably have to review the email and then maybe do a phone call or something, Jay. Figure out what's going on with you. But I'll definitely take care of you, man. Appreciate your support. Jason says, "What are you cooking tonight?" I'm cooking some steak bites, sweet potatoes, tomato, some veggies. Keep it simple, man. Eunice Duncan says, "Can you plug into shore power?" Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, all vehicles that use shore power, even RVs, they're all 12 volts, right? And you can do anything on shore power, 12, 24, 48, because your shore power coming in is always going to be AC voltage. And then your battery bank is always DC voltage. So no matter what, you're always having to convert AC shore power into DC voltage. So yeah, you do have to use a converter, but yeah, you can do shore power with 24 volts. Mike, love your vehicle. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you, man. I love my vehicle too. It's a spacious home. It's comfortable. It's looking pretty good today. I cleaned it for you guys before the live stream, wiped the counters, vacuumed the floor, made my bed. Look at that. Pretty cozy. Got the TV out. I watched a little YouTube today. Did some video editing, all from my tiny home on wheels. It's my house. It's my office. It's my shop. I do it all in this baby. Dino Lindsay says, "I'm so ready to watch the build out." Me too. I know. I'm hurting. It's going to be hard to make it all summer without a build out, but it's going to be good. Ohio Woodburner. Hi, Brad. Enjoying your vids. Thanks. Thank you, Woodburner. I appreciate you. Yes, Kristen says, "Hit the like and share. Please do. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a like. Doesn't cost you anything." We got 252 people here, 81 likes. Let's bump the ratio up if you can. Just takes you one click of the button, one press of your thumb. There we go. 82. One person hit the like. I appreciate it. Thank you, one person. Whoa, there we go. We just got like 10 likes. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. It helps. It helps push the message out, bring in more nomads, help more people figure it out. Inspired Gut, did you sell your truck? I did not sell my truck. I'm still here, baby. I'm gonna travel this summer. We'll try to sell it this winter. Hair is on point. Thank you, Dave. I actually woke up today and I was like, you know what? It's a good hair day. Sometimes my hair is a little crazy. Sometimes it's too much. Sometimes it's not enough. But tonight, it's just right. Pretty happy with it. I don't. People ask me about my hair. What the secret is? I only wash it once a week, and I don't use any products in it. No conditioner. No um, like hair gel, no pomade. Just this is what it is. And so what happens is when you don't wash your hair a lot and you don't put a bunch of chemicals in it, the natural oils that are in your hair, it acts as a hair product, right? So it's funny because America is like conditioned to thinking that all the body stuff is like gross and you got to like scrub your body all day, every day. But what you're doing is you're scrubbing your body with chemical, in most cases, petrochemicals, right? Like everything comes from fossil fuels, all the petroleum products. So you're like scrubbing your body in fossil fuels and all kinds of synthetic chemicals, stripping away all the natural stuff, putting chemicals on. And then your body gets all dried out and weird. You have to put on more chemicals to try to fix it. But if you just didn't put on chemicals and you just let your body maintain its natural balance, then it's gonna be great, and then you don't have to worry about it. So that's what I do. It works out pretty good. No dandruff either. No crazy flakes, no dandruff. I don't know. Try it out, guys. You can go on down the rabbit hole. Like if you go on YouTube and look at like women that don't like wash their hair and use hair product, There's a whole YouTube segment of women with beautiful hair that they don't use anything on it. It's, all natural, man. You can do it. You can do it. Mother Nature knows what's happening. Bella says, I'm from San Diego, California, and I don't have any truck. I just live in a condo. Love watching your channel. Thank you, Bella. Happy to have you here. I love California. I hope you have a beautiful condo in San Diego. Hopefully, you got a nice spot near the beach. I wouldn't mind a condo on the beach in San Diego. That'd be cool. But you know what? No matter what, I need variety. I think even if I had a beautiful beachfront condo in San Diego, I'd get bored of it. I'd get bored of the beach and the palm trees. I know because I lived on the beach in my van. And after a while, you want something different. You want mountains, you want a lake, you want pine trees. So I just love being able to move around and always experience something different. Jake Hope says modular houses are pricing up in around 140K and have an 850 lot rent fee. So now basically you pay rent on the house you're paying a mortgage on. How is this legal? I'm sure you guys have all heard the quote from Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum, you'll own nothing and be happy. The people that control this planet, they want everybody to be consistent renters. And it's apparent in the life we already live. Everything is a subscription service. People, you get your phone, your new iPhone every couple years and you make payments on it. Everybody makes car payments, they lease, they don't buy, they rent, they don't own houses. So that the goal for the people that rule this planet is they want everybody to constantly be paying a monthly fee. And the benefit to them is they can just raise those prices constantly at their will whenever they want to make sure that the population is not able to save money. And so what it does is it extracts it reduces the amount of money people can save and it sucks all the capital out of the everyday person and it takes it all up to the higher class. So all these elites and corporations and investment bankers and private equity firms that own all the housing and all the businesses that rent to us, they're basically just sucking us all dry. And they're super profitable. They're having record profits. And meanwhile, we're all living paycheck to paycheck. I think honestly, the final frontier of owning your own home rent free is in some kind of vehicle. You can still get into an affordable home on wheels. You still have to pay insurance and gas, but that's it. There's no rent, there's no HOA, there's no lot fees, there's no utilities. It's very cheap. And it's getting very, very attractive for people that probably in the past would have turned their nose up at living in a vehicle. But if you really want to be free, like this is kind of as close as it gets. Even if you own your own home, you have to pay, even if you own the home outright, you have to pay property taxes. And property taxes can go up very high. I see news articles all the time about older folks on fixed income that lose their homes because they're living in a place that's got gentrified and all of a sudden property taxes have doubled, tripled, and they literally cannot afford taxes on their home. And when you can't afford taxes, what happens? You get evicted. So even when you own your home, you never own it. You're still paid rent to the government. And if you don't pay rent, they evict you. So I think the final frontier of ultimate freedom is living in a vehicle. And I'm not happy about that. I wish it was different. I wish we could all just go live in the forest on 5 acres and not have to do all this silliness, but here we are. And I'm a solutions kind of guy, So I'm like, okay, here's where we are. We can't do much about it on that end. We can't change that, but what can we change? What can we do to kind of, wiggle around the regulation? And for now, it's a pretty good wiggle. It's a pretty good wiggle. And if you guys have jobs that make good money, you can save so much by living in a vehicle. It's ridiculous. I mean, if you're making like, let's just say you're making 4 grand a month, which in some place, like in San Diego, you're poor if you're making 4 grand a month, right? But let's just say you're making 4 grand a month, which, in Oklahoma, that's good money, right? In some parts of Texas, that's good money. So let's say you're making 4 grand a month. If you're living in a vehicle, your overhead is like 12 to 1,500 bucks a month. So you could easily save almost 3 grand a month every month. And keep in mind, you don't have a car payment. You just have your home and your vehicles all in one. So imagine what you could do with 3 grand a month. That's 30 grand a year. It's a lot of cash. Versus if you're living somewhere and renting on 4 grand a month and then having to lease a car and pay all the bills, you might have 1,000 bucks left at the end of the month. What are you gonna, it's a little bit, but hey, 3 grand. Something to think about. Uh, the liber man says, "What's up, Nomad Brad? I liked the Starlink install video. Thank you, I appreciate it. I'm never sure about my videos, who's gonna like them, who's not, and so I just focus on doing the best I can with the content that's available, and with the time I have and the situation I'm in, and just putting it out there. And I was talking to this guy yesterday. Actually, the guy that I did this install for, you guys will see it on Sunday. He's the owner of this company, Headlight Restoration. Super nice guy. And because of his business, he knows a lot of like automotive YouTubers, like some pretty big names. And he was telling me that most of them are really not that happy with their place because their YouTube channels are so large and they have so many people working under them and they have so much overhead, and then they're constantly chasing the algorithm of trying to come up with like new videos and what video is going to hit, and you're always on that treadmill. And he said a lot of them are just super stressed out and it's kind of a constant struggle for them. And so he was just kind of cautioning me. He was like, hey, you're at a good spot, you're growing organically, you're not busting your hump. Enjoy what you have, and don't try to get too crazy because it can turn real quick into a stressful situation. And so that's where I'm at with YouTube. I'm enjoying it. It's making me some money, but I'm definitely not trying to chase views. And I'm just trying to have a good time. And so I hope you guys see that in the videos. They're not all perfect. Some of them suck. I'll admit that some of them aren't that good, But at the end of the day, it's real life. I'm a real human, and even putting out one video a week, which is what I do, it's a lot. So that's where I'm at. I appreciate the support. Appreciate you guys sticking around. We're gonna keep grinding through the YouTube marsh, and we're on our way to 100K subscribers. I don't know, like 74,000 or something right now, and so I'll be excited to hit 100K. Most likely this summer we'll hit 100K. I'm gonna get the plaque. We'll get the silver YouTube play button. We'll mount it on the wall. I might have to paint it orange. We'll see what happens. Candyman says, "What do you charge to install solar system on for your YouTube subscribers?" Pricing ranges so much, dude. Depending on what you need, what you got, there's no way to answer that. So you're welcome to reach out if you have a project. I can give you a price, but also it depends on location. I mean, I can't drive across the country to install solar for you. It's not going to make sense. Nick says your setup looks so professional. It looks better than a factory RV. Yes, Nick, you're correct about that. That's the reason why I build my own vehicle. So many people ask me, why don't you just buy an RV? Why do you put in so much effort? You can get a Class C for $20,000. You can, but they're built like crap. It's super crappy materials. They're not designed in a way that's efficient, and they're not custom to your needs. And so you're always better off doing your own build, especially when it's going to be your home, right? Like a lot of people that buy Class C RVs or any RV, they're in it for camping or a few months a year. It doesn't really matter. You can put up with some BS. But when you're living in it every day, you want it custom to your needs, and you want to have all the materials you want. You want to have everything nice and look good and feel good. And that's what I did. Everyone has their own style. Some people like a lot of nature and pine and wood. I like modern and contemporary. And so I did mine. It kind of feels like an IKEA in here, but that's what I like. And so, yeah, I built it to suit myself. And the next one I build out is going to be even more crazy. It's going to blow some minds, it's going to break the internet. I got some crazy ideas. It's gonna be modern again. I love the white and the gray and the black. It'll be nice. We still good here? My chat just dropped out on my laptop. I guess we're still live. Okay, let's chug a lug through the chat. I talk a lot and then you guys all respond and then I like I'm up in the chat and so my replies never correlate with like the topics. I'm sorry about that. Um I'm doing my best. I'm just a man who lives in a van. That's my that's my excuse for everything. Like I'm just a guy that lives in a van. What do you want from me? I don't claim to be anything fancy. Uh, Dustin, good evening from the Midwest. I can't even read this. Shimon Sequences says deodorant is super bad. Yes, I agree. I don't really use deodorant. I have some, but I very rarely use it. Rarely use deodorant. I do have this stuff. It's called Humble. It's lavender. Um, It's decent. It has, cornstarch and baking soda and beeswax. So it's expensive though. This stick of deodorant was like $12. If you go buy a stick of Old Spice for $5, it's full of chemicals. It's terrible for you. And you're putting it right in your sweat glands, right in your lymph nodes. It gets absorbed right into your body. It's all chemicals. That's why everybody's getting cancer. That's why everybody's getting all these weird diseases. It's because we're all covering our bodies and ingesting a bunch of chemicals. So, and the thing is, if you take care of your body and you eat properly, you don't stink. Like I don't want to like offend people, but your body balances itself out. And if you take care of your body, it's going to maintain and you don't have to be wearing deodorant all the time. Now, if you work a sweaty job, that's a little different, right? You go to the gym, that's different. But for the most part, if you eat right, take care of yourself, you don't need a deodorant and chemicals and lotions and all that stuff. And there's natural stuff you can get, right? For anything that's available at Walmart in the drugstore aisle, you can get a natural version that uses, plant-based, food-based ingredients, nothing harmful. So it's out there, it's going to cost you more. That's the thing, is because petrochemicals are very cheap, right? It's all derived from fossil fuel, from oil. And so it's cheap to just use petroleum and all that stuff. That's why it's mass produced and cheap and people just buy it, but it's not good for your body. Eunice Duncan says, I think I could handle the simplified life except for 3 months out of the year in summer. I could plug in. Some places are restrictive on rugs. Yeah, you can relocate. The thing about having a home on wheels is you can relocate. So if if the weather's bad, if you want to go somewhere for the summer, do it. That's what I do. I don't stay in Arizona or I don't stay in Yuma all winter. I follow the good weather. Concerned citizen. So now big is the next box truck. And how do you see yourself purring a bathroom in it? I don't know what that means. I'm gonna do either a 16 or an 18-foot Isuzu NPR. It's gonna be the high cube, 8-foot ceilings, 8 foot wide. It's gonna be a monster. It's gonna be a legit tiny home. It's gonna be the closest thing to an actual tiny home you've seen in a vehicle. There's a lot of tiny homes built on trailers, but like box truck tiny home, this is gonna be a legit tiny home. Tony Hodges says you can't sell the products unless you create the need. I agree with you. David says, so true, the body is perfect naturally. Couldn't have said it better myself. Robert says, how much are you selling the truck for? I'm not selling it until the winter now. I'm going to be traveling this summer, so I'll relist it in the winter and I'll adjust the price accordingly depending on what happens over the summer, how much miles I put on it, what condition it's in when I get back from a big road trip. Edgar says, thank you for sharing your journey. Keep up with the good work and creativity. Thank you, Edgar. I appreciate you. Hoosier in the Woods, how far do you travel from Arizona? I try to stick on the western states. This summer, I'm only going to go up to through northern Arizona and then into Nevada to go to Burning Man. But next summer, I would like to maybe go into Oregon or Idaho, travel a little bit further. Spicer says if you want something different, come to Minnesota. Eunice Duncan says they want us to eat the bugs. Yeah, they want you to eat crickets. They want you to eat crickets. Jason asked if I hooked up the Starlink. I did install it physically. I routed everything. I haven't done the registration yet. I need to. So it's not currently in use. Sarah says, hello from Michigan. We just went off grid and are absolutely loving it. Thinking about doing our own build soon. Right now, we're in a 94 Mini Winnie. It's probably a Class C RV. Happy to hear it. Going off grid is awesome. It's so satisfying to be able to just collect your own energy, be self-reliant. You don't really need anything. It's so nice. I love it. I'm a big uh, advocate for being off grid, being self-reliant, not having to rely on the government. Someone left a super chat. Thank you, someone. I appreciate you. They said, "Why do I have no amps at full? Why do I have no amps but a full charge on my mini power source?" No amp. What you someone, I need you to explain what do you mean no amps? Do you have a power station? What's a mini power source? You have a power station? I don't know what you mean. But thank you for the super chat. I'll try to help you out. Juan Pablo Escobar Besa says JP from Chile. Your channel is great, especially on your solar panels and battery system here in Chile. I guess I should say Chile. Here in Chile, we are miles away on that type of self-sustaining systems for rigs or RVs. Yeah, in South America, Central America, you guys should all be on solar power. There's so much sun down there. And from what I've heard, the grid can be unreliable at times. So there's no reason to not have solar. I think probably the cost of equipment is a hindrance. I know economically, a lot of you guys are struggling down there, so it might be hard to come up with the cash for the equipment, but I think it's a good investment. Hardy is from Stuttgart, Germany. Happy to have you here, Hardy. Thank you for joining the chat. Sacred Intuition says, cool setup. Thank you. Sacred Intuition says, you stay in it every day or is it an add-on? I'm not sure what you mean about that. I assume you're talking about this vehicle. I live in this vehicle every day. This is my full-time home. This is all I got. My van. This is my house and my car and my business workshop, my office, my studio, all in one. Will Ty says, I hope the powers that be and the rich elite don't target van life nomads and try to make it illegal. Yep. The system does not like anybody that finds loopholes. And that's what we're doing. We're finding loopholes in their control system. And so they don't like it, not happy about it. There's limitations to how much they can do, especially in America. Um, Regardless of how you feel about America, the Constitution does provide us a lot of freedoms other countries don't have. Uh, Europe has been absolutely ravaged. I think a big part of that, I don't want to get political, but a big part of that is they gave up their guns. And it's easy to control a population that can't defend themselves, can't fight back. People getting stabbed in the street, no self-protection. It's crazy. So yeah, we'll see what happens here with van life in America. The one thing we have going for us is it's still a big part of our economy. Arizona specifically relies on the RV tourism industry. So as long as the system is extracting money from you or from your segment, which would be vehicle dwelling, you're going to be okay. And so that's kind of just what I'm relying on is that the RV industry, it's taken a hit, but it's still a big part of America. And so I think we'll be okay. But honestly, part of the reason I'm doing this next build as a full-fledged tiny house is because in the back of my mind, I'm like, what if they make van life illegal? Well, I'm super comfortable in this van. If I had a bathroom in here, I wouldn't need anything else. I could just park this on in somebody's driveway on a lot somewhere and I would be 100% happy. And so that's my thought with the next build. It'll be a little bit larger, more space for storage, full bath, way more solar power. It'll be untouchable as far as like my power needs and stuff. And so my thought is if they really do crack down on vehicle dwelling, I'll just park I'll find somewhere to park my rig full time and just live out of it, and that's not gonna be I mean, I'm totally comfortable with that. Honestly, I love being in my van. It's funny because even when I go and, like, visit people, like, I went to stay with my mom a few months ago, and she invited me to stay the night in her guest bedroom, and I was like, "No, I'm way more comfortable in my van. I have all my stuff, my bed, all my clothes, my vitamins, my food." I mean, I prefer to be in here. So it really is it's addicting. The freedom is addicting, and always having your stuff around you is addicting. Julian needs blood is asking, so how do you not put chemicals on your skin? Just use water. No, the way you avoid putting chemicals on your skin is you have to read the ingredients on the products you're buying. So, like when you go to the grocery store and you buy deodorant and shampoo and sunscreen, look at the chemicals on the back. Half of it's going to be stuff you can't even pronounce. It's going to have titanium dioxide and tetrachloride and um, all kinds of petroleum, all kinds. Basically, if you can't pronounce what's on the label, it's a chemical. But you can get natural alternatives to everything: shampoos, conditioners, sunscreens, lotion. You can get natural alternatives that use aloe and cornstarch and baking soda and coconut oil and tallow. There's natural solutions. I mean, we survived as a civilization for thousands of years before all of a sudden we had Head and Shoulders shampoo, right? They were using natural plant-based stuff before the modern industrialization. So it can be done, and I recommend it. You can find it anywhere. You can even like Target. You can find they'll have some natural products. You have to learn how to read labels. Google it. Watch some YouTube videos on it. The information's out there. Day a car says, when living in a van, what do you do for an address like registration? So I get this question a lot. The first thing I'll say is I don't receive regular mail. All my bills are paperless. And I feel like most people watching don't really receive mail, right? Like most of the things you get in the mail is just junk, or it's bills that could be paperless. Pretty much everything in 2025 can be paperless, can be billed online, paid online. And so um, the only things I need an address for is like you said, registration, once a year type stuff, registration, taxes. So for that, I use my dad's address. So most people are going to have a friend or a family member that you would allow you to use their address once a year to receive some government documents. Or you can get, if you have one town you want to use as a home base, you can get a PO box in that one town, and then just that's your home base. Or you can go to a not a US post office mailbox, but you can go to a like a private mailbox, like a postal express, and they have a service where they'll collect your mail for you, and then they can sort it. They can like email you and tell you what you got. They can throw out stuff you don't want, or they can forward mail to wherever you're at on the road. So there's a lot of solutions. There's solutions for everything. It just requires a little critical thinking and a little research. Mike says, "How do you get auto insurance without a permanent address?" I just use my dad's address. Guys, keep in mind, you have to think outside the box a little bit with all this stuff, right? Like when the government asks you for your address, you just fill in a box. When you go to the DMV, you fill in a box. You can put in whatever address you want. There's no um, checks. There's no like verification that someone's going to swing by and knock on your door and make sure that you live at the house. Most of these services don't there's no legally binding statement that says this is my house. You can just use an address, bro. I mean, think about it. When you go live in an apartment, you go move in with your parents because times are tough. You just move and you use whatever the address is. So you can just use whatever address you want. You don't. It doesn't matter. Dank Bros says, "What if someone's trying to break in while you're sleeping?" It's a good question. Um, if someone's trying to break in while you're sleeping, here's the thing: people that are trying to break in, they're usually trying to get inside the vehicle to steal stuff. They're not really trying to steal your car. It's usually here's the thing: car thieves aren't going to steal these because there's no resale on these. And they're hard to turn over and they're really unique, right? People steal cars that are easy to strip down for parts and easy to ship overseas or to another state and sell. They're not going to steal a converted van unless you have some, $300,000 Sprinter, maybe. But for the most part, they're not going to steal your van conversion. The only reason someone would break in is because they want to steal your stuff. The only person that's going to break in to steal your stuff is a drug addict. That's the only person that's going to break in, a drug addict. Drug addicts, they want an easy, quick job. They don't want trouble. They don't want to get caught. They just want to break in, steal some stuff, and go sell it. So the minute they know someone's inside, they're just going to leave. So if you're inside and someone tries to break in, you can just yell really loud, you can pound on the wall, and they're just gonna scurry off. I had that happen to me twice, in my van life experience. Once about man, it's been a long time, like 5 years ago when I was pretty new. I was sleeping in the back, of my rig, and I heard it was like midnight, 1 a.m. maybe, and I heard, like an engine, like a car drive up next to me, and it woke me up. It was a super loud exhaust on a pickup truck. It parked right next to me. I was in an empty parking lot, so I thought that was pretty suspicious. And I just laid in bed. I heard him get out and like walk around my rig, and then I heard my gas cap opening. So I realized, oh, this guy is just trying to steal my gas, right? Like I get it, not a big deal. I'm not taking it personal. I'm not scared. I'm not, like shivering in my boots. Like, okay, some tweaker wants to steal gas. So I literally just pounded on my wall and just said, "Hey," really loud, and he ran in his truck and drove off. Like, like no big deal. Like it shocked me, but again, not a problem. And then one time in Texas, like 2 years ago, there was some guy that was like messing with my passenger door lock, and I was in the back again, like asleep, and I got up and I was like moving around, getting my glasses on, and the whole box was like, shaking because when you're parked on a parking lot and you're walking around, the whole box will kind of move. And he got spooked and ran off. So that was the two times it's happened, and it's not a big deal. Most people are not breaking into your van in the mindset of an altercation, right? They're not going to be armed thugs breaking into your van, right? People with guns, then they're organized. They're breaking into houses to steal, expensive shit. They're not breaking into your conversion van. So that would be my advice: is if someone tries to break in, just pound on the wall, and you're gonna be fine. It's not the only caveat I would say is if you're a single woman, you could get a stalker. That's real. I've seen many YouTube videos on it. I don't want to downplay that. If you're a single woman, you could have a stalker. That's a totally different thing. I have no experience on that. Ain't nobody stalking Nomad Brad. Um, and ultimately, like if I had to, like if some stuff was going down, I would grab some tools and I would go outside and I would fight whoever was out there. I mean, end of the day, I'm prepared to do battle. So if you're really worried about it, I would get like some bear spray or some mace because honestly, you just open the door, hit him with a blast of bear spray. I mean, call the cops. It's gonna be fine. Pitter Patter says, "Dang, I'm late." Coming in with a super chat. Thank you, Pitter Patter. I appreciate you. Happy to have you here. Shimon, I can't read this. I can't read your name, bro. Shimon sequences. Is that Schumann? I don't know. Shimon sequences. What is your current build? What in your current build you now think is unnecessary? So there's nothing in my build that's unnecessary because this is my fourth conversion. Keep that in mind. I had a cargo van, a shuttle bus. This is my second box truck. So I've built four vehicles. So I had unnecessary stuff before. Now everything has a purpose and it's all necessary. Candyman says if we bring to you the solar panels, inverter, charger, and batteries, how much do you charge to only install? Again, Candyman, I can't give you an estimate on that. I don't know what vehicle you have. I don't know how many panels you have. Am I installing two? 100-watt panels on a ProMaster, or am I installing 4 500-watt panels on a school bus? Right? Like, you have to understand pricing, it varies depending on how much work I have to do. Do you have all the wires? Do you have breakers? Do you need 120-volt outlets? Am I running wires through a wall? Am I installing outlets? Do you already have an insulation and wall paneling? Do I have to remove stuff to do the work? You understand what I'm saying? It's not that easy, bro. So if you want a price, you can send me an email or call my business line. And I could talk to you about it, but there's no way for me to estimate a price for you. But I mean, it's gonna be thousands of dollars. Just, I mean, right off the bat, I'll tell you that it's gonna be thousands of dollars to install all that. Regardless, it takes time. You got to do it right. It's a lot of effort. It might seem simple. Batteries, panels, inverter. It's gonna cost you thousands of dollars. I hope that helps. Montesi just turned in there to go. Just tuned in there. Go, my guy Brad. Happy to have you here. Thank you. Let's see. The chat is blowing up. I'm trying to keep up here, guys. It's getting crazy. Okay, here we go. Chris says, "How about the AZ weather? Hot one day, cold the next." I agree. The weather's spotty. It's super windy right now. Still windy. Dusty today. I'm glad it cooled down. It was in the hundreds for a few days. Now it's back down to like 80s, 90s. So I'm really happy the weather calmed down a little bit. Jumpin' Jehoshaphat says, "What's your opinion on slide-in van modules?" I'm happy to talk about that. So if you guys look online, there's companies that build these kits for vans that you slide them. I think you're talking about the full size kits. You slide them in, and the wall it like folds up, and it has all the walls and ceiling and everything. And it looks cool on TikTok. Like they slide it in, they fold it up, and then they're like, "Look, we're in our van. It's a camper." But it's I think it's a terrible idea. Um, and the reason why is because it's a slide in, nothing's like permanently mounted. So, you can't really have a big water tank. A water tank's going to go under the vehicle. You can't have any plumbing that exits the vehicle because you'd have to drill a hole through the floor and then you can't do a slide out system. So you can't have any real plumbing. You can't really have any like legitimate solar or electrical. You can't have a max fan. You can't have an air conditioner. There's a lot of limitations. I don't think it's a good idea at all. I think it's somebody had an idea and they made it and it looks cool on Instagram, but I don't think it's practical. And you're wasting a lot of space because even though the slide out kit looks good, it's still not going to be a perfect fit, and you're going to be giving up space and room and potential insulation. You can't have windows either. There's no windows. All you get is maybe your rear door window. That's it. So I don't know. I would want to have windows in a van. I don't think it's a good idea. Monk coming in with the super chat. Thank you. I appreciate you, man. He says he or she says for the Big Papa Truck Fund. I appreciate you. Thank you. I'm looking forward to it. Nahum777 says, "Do you get girls?" I do not get girls. Nomad Brad is not a girl chaser. I was in my younger years. I got a lot of girls, but I'm good now. I'm good. I've uh, I've had my fill, so I'm just chilling, man. I appreciate it though. I'm leaving the girls for all the younger nomads. We all still want to know how much for your vehicle. I'm not. So here's the thing: the vehicle. I made quite a few for sale videos for it. There's a post with all the details and the pricing, but it didn't sell, so it's off the market until winter. I'm gonna travel this summer, and its mileage is gonna add up. Who knows what's gonna happen during the road trip? So I will relist it in the winter, and I will adjust the price accordingly. So what I find interesting is everybody asks how much, nobody makes an offer. So I would say if you were truly interested, you could make an offer. Let's put it that way. Tony, living paycheck to paycheck makes you a smurf. I ain't no smurf. I agree. Mr. Gutierrez says I used your solar setup, but I did mine in 48 volts. Hell yeah, man. Happy to hear it. Happy to hear about it, Mr. Gutierrez. I've been thinking about on my next build. I'm still planning to do 24 volts, but I might do 48. Um, I might do 48 just because it's going to be a house. Everything's going to be 120 volt basically. I'm undecided, but I might do 48 volts on the next build. Chuck Panapinto did the Starlink install in last Sunday's video. Are you finishing the setup this coming Sunday? Chuck, no. Um, I need to set up and test the Starlink. It won't be this Sunday's video, maybe next Sunday. Maybe next Sunday. This Sunday's video is already filmed. It's a solar install I did this week. Catskill Hillbilly. I have found just rubbing alcohol spray works for armpit odor. There you go. Yeah, so at the end of the day, armpit odor is a bacteria growth. So it would make sense that alcohol or hydrogen peroxide would probably kill the bacteria and kill the odor. And so, all the deodorants and stuff you buy, all the chemicals, they just mask it. They don't really kill it. But yeah, rubbing alcohol, hydrogen peroxide would probably work. And then if you want, after you hit your pits with some hydrogen peroxide or rubbing alcohol, you could add some essential oils or some tea tree oil or something natural. Give a little scent if you like. Rob Dean says, I'm at that point where I'm watching the Nomad life on YouTube. I see in my future. Thanks for sharing. You definitely charge the visualization. Thank you, Rob Dean. Happy to hear it. Happy to have you. Happy to have you as a prospective new van lifer, new nomad. It's a good life. I'm enjoying it. I wouldn't be doing it for 7 years if I didn't enjoy it. Hoosier said, I stopped using deodorant years ago and my body adjusted and I'm in a professional job. No smell. I'm happy to hear so many people in the comments are um, having the same experience with the deodorant. It's facts. I mean, it really is. And I will say, if you've tried it with deodorant, it's similar with other products like soaps and shampoos. I mean, you might still need to wash your hair and stuff, but I'm just saying there's natural alternatives. You don't have to use the chemical stuff. So if you've seen results with deodorant, you might consider trying natural products in other areas of your life. How much solar? I have 1280 watts right now. The new build will have close to 3000 watts. I'm hoping to do four 700-watt panels. Adam Flint says the depreciation value of big truck campers is a big fact. I'm not sure what you mean, a big factor. Gutierrez has 1200 on a step van. Hell yeah, man. Happy to hear it. That's a solid amount of solar. Someone says solar power source, no amperage. I guess you mean the solar panels are not provide. I mean, I really need more information, man. Uh, the way the power stations work, you plug in the solar panels. Now, keep in mind your battery has to be low for the solar to flow. That rhymes. The battery has to be low for the solar to flow. So if your power station is like pretty high on its charge, it'll cut back how many amps it allows the solar to bring in. But if you have a lower battery and you have the panels plugged in and it's not showing any amps coming in, I mean, I don't know what's wrong with it. It could be the solar panels, it could be the power station, but that's not anything I can help you with. And that's one of the downsides of the power stations is everything's built in. You can't check anything, you can't test anything. If it's dead, it's kind of just a brick at that point. So I'm not sure, man. Tommy Lou says the interior is so well designed. Did you design it all at once or piece it together? I pieced this thing together. I pieced this interior together over a year. Like for example, I did these overhead cabinets pretty early on in the build. And then these overhead cabinets I did like probably a year later at my dad's house. I built these in Texas. So, yeah, it's been like piece by piece. But it's easy when you stick with a theme, like you stick with a color palette and material design, then it's easy to go through and like add pieces and still have it all look, like it's designed and all done just at once. Michael Newman says, I just drove past you a few minutes ago at the end of Fortuna. Look at that. We got a subscriber in the area, observing and reporting. Happy to hear it, Michael. Thanks for watching. Don't be coming knocking on my van now. Trying to break in at 2 a.m. I don't want to have to beat you over the head with a screwdriver. Uh, Time to start a meal. Yeah, man, so it's 7 o'clock. We've been going for an hour. It's almost dinner time. I'm trying to crank through these comments. Wild Bill Adventures says, Sup, Nomad Brad, my brother. Hello, Wild Bill. Happy to have you here. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to the chat. Adam Flint, still at your dad's place? I'm in Yuma. I'm in a parking lot right now, but I am still in the area of my dad's. I've been hanging out with him, still doing some projects. Look at that. You can see how cloudy it is off in the distance. That's all dust. It's a big dust storm. Usually you can see the mountains pretty clear, but it's so windy tonight. It blows up and you get a pretty wild dust cloud going. Um, so I have probably another week here in Yuma, then I'll be hitting the road. For those of you that are wondering, I mean I'm tired of being in Yuma. I've been here too dang long, and so I'm ready to hit the road, do some traveling. Probably as much as you guys are. You're probably sick of watching Yuma videos. I'm ready to start. Uh, let's see what's going on. Tommy Lou, does the Isuzu have a bigger engine? No, not really. It's a diesel. The diesel I'm looking at is a 5.2 liter. This is a 6.8 liter. So it's a smaller engine. It's much less horsepower, but it's more torque. I'd rather have a bigger motor, but what are you gonna do? That's all they make is the 5.2 diesel. They have a gas version, but that's not any better. It's only a 6 liter. The gas is only 6 liters. Rook with a super chat. Thank you, Rook. I appreciate you. Says, have been enjoying the Nomad Brad back catalog and all your old rigs, seeing that you sold all of them. What is your opinion on how the market for pre-made rigs has changed between then and now? Seems like it's harder. Yeah, Rick, the one thing I'll say about the pre-owned van market is there's just a lot more inventory. So it's definitely harder to sell a vehicle right now. Um, I've been in the game for 7 years, and so each year, Nomad life gets more and more popular. And so but here's the thing: it gets more and more popular, but more people come and go. So what happens is people come in, they buy rigs, and a lot of them are not full time, and so then they sell their rigs, and that like floods the market. So like when I'm on Facebook, there's rigs for sale left and right, all over the place, especially in California. All the part timers, everybody's selling their weekend sprinters and pro masters. So obviously, when supply increases, demand goes down, price goes down. So it's definitely it's a little tougher, but the good thing is I don't do this as a business. I don't do it for profit. It would definitely be stressful if I was trying to build bands for a profit, but I'm not. So not a problem. But the amount of labor that goes into this build, like if I was going to try to build this out and sell it, like when I had this listed right now on Van Life Trader for 49,000, if I was going to build all this out and try to like make a decent hourly wage for my labor to do all this, I'd have to charge like probably $70,000 just to make 20 bucks an hour. It's crazy how much time it takes to do all this. Oh, Shaggy Adventures says I found BLM in Ohio that is managed by U.S. Forestry Service. I'm stoked. Hell yeah, man. Happy to hear it. Happy to hear it, man. You can do some camping back home. Visit the friends, visit the family. Happy to hear it. Man, I think I'm way off on the chat. I'm way down. Let me scroll down here. Ghosty is asking, is your insurance commercial? I would have to create an LLC. Is that correct? So, right now, I had the title converted to an RV, so I have RV insurance on this box truck. But it was previously it was commercial, and so to get commercial insurance, you have to have a business technically. But Nomad Brad found a loophole. So when I insured this box truck back in Texas, I found this website called Next Insurance, and they go through all the big insurance providers. So my policy was through Progressive. It was through Progressive National Insurance, but I bought it online through Next Insurance. And when you fill out the form online, you just type in the name of your business. They don't ask for nothing. They don't ask for a business number. They just ask the business name and address. So I just put in the address of the place I was staying in Texas. I made up a business name. This is before I had Solaire. I just made up a business and bought the insurance policy. No one ever questioned me. So, like I said, there's solutions for everything. You just got to be creative. Next Insurance is the website if you guys want to check that out. Reading through the chat, reading through the chat. Love your videos. Thank you. Have you thought about airbag suspension? Definitely thought about it. Honestly, after I had the leaf springs replaced on this box truck, it rides really nice. If I was gonna keep it, I might do airbags, but it's really not that bad. I don't mind it. Arizona is concealed friendly. Arizona is a what's the name of it? Constitutional carry. Arizona is a constitutional carry state, so you don't need a license, you don't need a permit. You just pack that heater wherever you go. I love it. Freedom, baby. Same with Texas. Just pack that heater, baby. Watch out. And I think it helps keep people in line too. If you think about it, if you're some tweaker, if you're out in LA as a tweaker, there's not many people with guns. But out here in Arizona, you're a tweaker, you got to watch your back because there could be guns all over the place. You don't even know. So I think it helps keep the criminals in line when anybody could potentially have a firearm on them. I remember the first time I came to Arizona in my van, my blue van. I came down here and I went into like a I forget what restaurant it was, but they had a salad bar, and there was a guy in the line at the salad bar with like a pistol on his hip, and it just kind of tripped me out. That was the first time I'd seen it like in public. Just open carry in a restaurant at a salad bar, and I was like, okay, I like that. I feel safe. Got to do with a gun here. In case something gets crazy, he'll handle it. People that openly carry guns around don't scare me. I mean, you know what I mean? They got nothing to hide. It's the people that are hiding guns you should be scared of. Okay, I guess I'll make some dinner. I was trying to just get through the chat here. Let me see what's going on. We'll cook up some steak here. What area did you build your cabinets? I have a friend that has a farm in Bastrop, Texas, which is it's like 40 minutes east of Austin. So I was staying on his property. I wasn't on. There's no public land in Texas, which kind of sucks. Will the new build have a garage? No. No garage. All open floor plan, just like similar to this. Wide open. It's gonna feel like a huge, huge studio. Favorite thing about your box truck? I have so many favorites. What's my favorite thing about my box truck? I mean, honestly, my favorite thing about my box truck is the freedom it allows me. Not any one thing. Like I love my free energy from the sun. I love my mini split. I'm so cool right now. It's cold outside even, but I'm so comfortable right now. Having all the conveniences is awesome. Big TV. But my favorite thing is the freedom, the independence, the travel, make my own electricity. No rent, low monthly expenses. That's the best. That's the best part. It's not any. It's not the countertops. It's none of that. What is the orange countertop? What are the black things on it? So I'll take this one last question, then I'm gonna make dinner. This countertop it's orange epoxy that I did. So it's like orange epoxy, and then I use some metallic gold flake epoxy to pour inside of it. And then I use black spray paint to make those other marks. So it kind of looks has like a marbled type of look to it. I was just playing around. It's just kind of a DIY custom thing. And then it's got these little bubbles. Those are intentional. Those are like drips. So I dripped the gold metallic into like little dots. So it's like the countertop was like a big art project. I was watched a YouTube video and decided to just play around with it and see what happened. And I had a lot of fun with it. My dad helped me, and we had a good time. It was fun. I'll definitely do epoxy in the next build. Lots of epoxy. It's really fun. Does your hair require a lot of maintenance? Zero maintenance. I wash my hair once a week. I use no product. Nothing. There's no maintenance. This is what it does. This is it. It just does this. Um, yeah, I love it. Grateful for my hair. Okay, we're gonna make some food. Actually, I'm gonna bring in my ladder first. I left the ladder outside, um, because I was hoping we could climb on the roof, but it's just too windy. So I'm gonna go bring my ladder in before it gets dark, and then we'll cook some steak. So that's the first hour of the chat. If you guys want to dip out, you're welcome to say goodbye. Otherwise, hang around, and we're gonna make some dinner. Oh, you know what? Maybe you guys want to see it. Why not? I'll bring you guys with me. Let me grab the microphone. Give you guys a little shot of the area. What do we think? Should we try it out? I already got the ladder set up. Let's just go up there real quick. We'll take a peek. Don't mind the wind noise. All right, that's it. Good night, Arizona. Going back inside. There's the Starlink holding up nicely. Oh boy. All right, here we go. Let's see what we can do on some dinner. So I got these little steak bits that have been thawing out. We're gonna cook those up, cook up some sweet potato, and let's see what we got here. What else do we want? We'll do some peppers. They're like kind of like sweet peppers, super pretty. Uh, uh, and then we'll do a tomato. That's pretty good. Meat and some veggies, and we'll have a sweet potato. It's a good dinner. All right. And I'm gonna close the blinds because it's dark now, and when I have the lights on inside, it's really easy to see in the rig. And so I just don't want people driving by to necessarily look inside and see me in here having a good time, cooking up some tasty steaks. I don't want them to get jealous. I'll be like, man, that looks like a good life. I should live in a vehicle. Okay, so let's see. What are we gonna do? We'll kick on the kick on the cooktop, get it heated up. We're gonna use a little olive oil, get the pan going. I might need to cook on the or kick on the vent fan, which means I'll need to crack a window, but I can crack the passenger side window because that doesn't face the street, so nobody's really gonna see that. Uh, let's see. I'll bring the laptop over so I can read the chat. Ace of Spades says, "Man, I was going to try to do HVAC and the book was so thick." Yeah, I hear you, man. When I became an HVAC tech, I had to do, I think, I forget the name of the training course. It was books. It was books, and then there was like a test. So I'd have to read through like a whole workbook, and then take a test at the end. And I'd have to go into the office to take the test. And then after I did all that, then they sent me away for training, like out of state. So it was a process, man. But there's a lot to learn. And so with anything you do in life that's of value, any skill, it requires knowledge. And so that's how you get the knowledge to do HVAC, right? Like if you don't want to read the books, then you could be like a helper, but you're not going to get paid that much. Like if you want to go get paid the big bucks and be a tech or whatever, you got to have the skill, the knowledge and the skills. That's what they're paying you for is knowledge and skills. And the way you get the knowledge and skills is by reading the books. So it's got to happen, man. It's definitely not easy, but got to do it. But that goes for anything. I mean, I think most trades you're going to have to, read through stuff. Maybe not. I don't know. And I wasn't even in like a union or anything. I'm sure if I was in a union, it would have been even more advanced, like more learning involved. I was just a, private residential company. Uh, Des Destinal says, in my opinion, Brad has a great balance in the box truck, lots of space, but not to the point where you end up with all the stuff you don't need. Yeah, that's the thing. I built this because I wanted it to be open and large and have a lot of room and move around. I mean, it feels like you're in a, studio apartment. So that's my main goal. And people ask me like, why don't you have all this stuff in here? And why do you have no shower? Where's your bathroom at? The reason I don't have all that stuff is because I value the space more, right? Everything's about choices and personal value. And so for me, I wanted the open space. For other people, they might really want a bathroom, and that's fine. Everyone's different, but um, and I still have a lot of storage. Like I have a lot of cabinets and stuff, so there's still a lot of room in here to move around and make things happen. But yeah, for me, space is the biggest thing, especially if you're going to be in your vehicle for like several days. Like if you're in bad weather or if you're somewhere really hot. Like when I was in Texas, it was so hot in the summer. You don't want to be outside. It's 90 degrees and humid, so you're just hiding out inside your vehicle. But I was super comfortable in here. I mean, it's still not ideal to be in your rig all day, but you can get up, move around. I can stretch out. I can do exercises. I can cook full meals. I couldn't imagine being in a little camper van all day for weeks at a time. That'd be crazy. So, um, if you're talking about really full-time living, especially in places with not ideal outdoor weather or not ideal weather for outdoor activities, I would recommend something bigger like a box truck or a shuttle bus or a schoolie, something with some room to move around in, especially if you're going to be with another person. I couldn't imagine two people living full time in like a ProMaster or something. I can't even imagine. That sounds like a nightmare. You'd be right on top of each other all day. So we added the peppers. Those are grilling up. I really should have done the sweet potato first. I just kind of spaced it, but I should have done that first because this is going to take some time to cook. So we'll carve it up really quick here. Oh man, I need to get my other knife. This thing sucks. I need to get my new knife. I'm like, look, I'm fighting to chop the sweet potato. I can't deal with it. We got the big guns. Let's go. Let's go. We got the real knife in the house. Look at that. We're slicing, we're dicing, we're chopping, we're popping. One thing about Arizona is the side by sides, like the little ATV things, they're street legal here. And because we're also in the desert, people drive those things all over town. That's what I just heard. There's some side by side like doing cookies in the parking lot. So I mean, it's like they'll just be driving through the town, and all of a sudden they'll just like peel off onto some dirt road. It's pretty crazy. I mean, it's kind of a cool spot to be a side by side owner because you can kind of just you can run wild, but definitely makes for some interesting experiences. As a van dweller, you hear side by sides ripping by you. Okay. So the sweet potatoes are going into this bowl, and then we're going to pressure cook them in the Instant Pot for 5 minutes. And we're going to add some salt and some pepper and some butter. Salt, pepper, butter. Get some butter. Yeah, like it's nothing. That knife is a chopper. I love it. There we go. Into the Instant Pot. 5 minutes on high. We have the little trivet in the bottom with a layer of water. Pressure cook. 5 minutes and we're off. All right, let's put the butter back. Okay. Onion. I'm gonna chop some onion. I should do the bowl of water thing, but I just don't want to. It's kind of a waste of water. Like when you're a nomad, you're always thinking about conserving water. And it's like I don't want to fill up a whole bottle of water or a whole bowl of water and then just pour it in the drain. So I think I'm just gonna chop it and maybe I'll cry a little bit and who cares? Who cares? What's the big deal? Be a baby about it. Don't be a cry baby. Look at that chopping. So satisfying. We're doing it. We're doing it. Maybe if I just do it quick, I won't. It won't make me cry. Yeah, that's looking really good. Look at that. I like it. Woo! Watch out. Getting crazy in here. Okay. Can you cook Mexican food? No, JT, I cannot cook Mexican food. I don't know how. I don't know how. Um, I don't know. I feel like Mexican food probably requires a lot of like sauces and spices and like pots and pans. Like I'm a simple cook, right? Like I got one skillet. I don't have a bunch of pots and a bunch of ingredients. I keep it simple. I love Mexican food. I'm a Mexican food enjoyer for sure. But I do not cook it. I don't know how to cook it. If I had a lady that knew how to make Mexican food, I would enjoy that. I might do more cooking, like more types of cooking in the next build because I'll have more room for pots and pans and seasoning, and I can, I'll have like a full featured kitchen. I'll have an oven and stuff. Um, but right now, I just keep it simple, and it works for me. I mean, 7 years, it's fine. I'm good. I ain't worried about it. When I get a craving for something like that, I'll just go to a restaurant. I mean, I still eat out sometimes. I'm not opposed to it. It's not against the rules. So if I want Mexican, I'll just go grab it. Eunice Duncan says, how many van dwellers do you think have a 6 month or more emergency fund? I would think if you are still working, you could really save. Yeah, I don't know. You should have a 6 month emergency fund. Let me tell you, I've never had a 6 month emergency fund until this year. I've always been tight with money because in the past, I haven't worked that much. I've mostly been just traveling and hanging out. This is kind of the first year, a little bit last year, but mostly this year is the first year I've really been working. So I finally have money. But I would say the majority of van people are living in vans because they're on a budget and they don't have a lot of money. And a lot of van people don't really work. So I would say not that many. But um, if you have a job and you live in a vehicle, you could save up an emergency fund very quickly. Do you cut your own hair? No, I go to a barber. I don't have a specific barber because I'm always on the travel, but I just go to whatever barber's in town. It's pretty easy to do this hair. It's just like you cut this and then you cut this a little shorter. That's it. There's nothing special about it. Is orange your favorite color? No, orange is not my favorite color. You know what's funny is um I did this van initially white, gray, and black, and the initial build. Like this wasn't part of the initial build. Neither was this. This was all done like a year later at my dad's house. The initial build was only white, black, and gray, and I realized it was pretty boring in here, and it needed some color. So I put in this photograph. Oh, that's not the camera. I was looking at the laptop. Okay, so I put in this glass backsplash photograph, and it has a lot of orange in it. I was like, that looks good. And then I bought this tea kettle and this skillet to match the backsplash, and I was like, that looks pretty good. And then I decided I kind of had an orange theme going, so then I just added on. I did the orange countertop, the orange chair, the orange pillows, but it was never planned, and I don't have any specific fascination with orange. I mean, I like it, obviously. I like the color, but it definitely, you know, it wasn't part of the initial plan. But I like it. It's a happy little accident. Cindy says, hi, Brad. I really enjoy watching you and your cute living quarters. Thank you, Cindy. I appreciate you. Happy to have you here. I'm glad you think the quarters are cute. I'm enjoying them. Bengals fan. Says, I'm a Bengals fan, so I like the colors. Hell yeah. Cincinnati Bengals. Orioles. I like the tangerine orange. Reminds me of the 70s. Yeah, it's got a little 70s vibe going. U-Haul orange. Yeah, I know, right? It's also U-Haul orange. How you keep in share? I don't know what that means. California here, stay fresh, bro. Dennis Ray coming from California. Hell yeah, Dennis. Welcome to the live stream. Happy to have you. Happy to have you here. California has some beautiful nature. I do enjoy the nature of California. Not so much the regulation, but the land is beautiful, especially in Northern California. Redwood Forest. They have some really pretty land out there. So now we're throwing the steak on, steak bits. So we got steak bits and peppers. I'll give you guys a shot here in a minute. Let me mix this up a little bit. Actually, I think I'm going to salt and pepper it really quick. And we'll add some seasoning. I'm too clean. I put the salt and pepper away, but I'm going to need it for the steak. Oh, it's windy. I feel the van moving. Jason says, how do you keep in shape? I eat healthy and I don't eat sugar. I don't eat junk food. I don't go to fast food. I eat pretty boring. Like what I'm eating tonight, steak and peppers, that's kind of the food I eat. No chips, no Doritos, no Oreos, no Mountain Dew. And I go to the gym. That's how I stay in shape. It's simple. There we are, the steak with the peppers, with the onion cooking up. We got the sweet potatoes in the Instant Pot. I don't drink beer, nope. I don't drink alcohol. I'm not against it. I'm not opposed to it. I will drink it on occasion. On occasion, anything on occasion, guys. I'm not super strict. Like, I'll drink beer if it's social. I'll have a gin and tonic. Um, I might hit a J, if we're like in a social setting. I'm not opposed to any of that stuff, but it needs to be in moderation, right? Sometimes I'll eat ice cream or I'll get a donut. Like I'm not super rigid, but and you don't have to be super rigid with your diet. But if you just have the default is that you eat healthy, then you can have, you know, junk food here and there. You can drink a soda once in a while. It's fine. But the problem is when you drink sodas every day and you eat Doritos every day. That's the problem. So it's all about moderation. And the majority of your diet, it should be natural foods. It should be, steak and peppers and eggs and salads and not cheeseburgers and combo meals. And it's more, another part of that too is that all goes along with being healthy. And it's not just to look good, it's also for your health itself. If you treat your body right when you're younger, it's going to help you avoid medications when you get older. A lot of the, conditions people have when they age, it's from abusing their body for decades. All the heart diseases and diabetes and not all of it. I'm not a doctor, not all of it, but a lot of the stuff that hurts you when you get older is because of what you put into your body and on your body for many, many decades. Okay, the meat is cooking. We're going for it. What kind of pan is that? Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's French. It's like Le Creuset, I think is how they pronounce it. That's the skillet and the tea kettle. It's pretty cool. It's fancy. Like that skillet was like 150 bucks, but my mindset was I'm only gonna buy it once, and I want it to be good quality. And when you only have one freaking pot or skillet, you can afford to get the good stuff. So that's what I got. I got the good stuff. Um, what do we got here? Speaking facts, thank you. I appreciate it. You're right. It isn't complicated. It's not complicated. It's also not easy. Have I studied diet carnivore? Yeah, I did carnivore for a while. Pure carnivore. I think every body is different. Every body is different. Everybody is different. And so I don't do pure carnivore anymore, but I tried it for a while. I think it's good to incorporate some vegetables and some starches and stuff. So that's what I do. Um, yeah, that's what I do. It works out good. I also want to say every body is different. Some people do really well on certain diets. Like some people do really good with vegan. Some people do good with vegetarian. For me, that wasn't for me. My body needs animal protein and animal fats. So I think everybody's different, and I don't think it's right to have the belief that there's only one way to do something and that everybody else needs to conform to that. I don't think that's a proper mindset. I think there's too much variation in our um, what is it called? Epigenetics. I think there's too much variation in that to say that every human should have the same diet. But I did try carnivore for a while when I was in Texas. What is your water consumption? I don't know, man. I just drink when I'm thirsty. I don't track it. I don't track it. But I drink these. So this is a 16-ounce glass. I drink like I drink at least 4 of these a day, minimum. And it depends too, like if I'm working, if I'm sweating, how hot is it? But I mean, 4 of these, that's going to be 40, 50, 60, 72 ounces. And I usually put in a little bit of salt and lemon juice. It helps hydrate. No tats, no tattoos. I have zero tattoos. Um, very happy about it. I'm not against tattoos, but I never for some reason I just was never interested in them. And so I never got one. And then as I got older, I realized it's actually more rare to not have any tattoos. Because back in the day, when you had a tattoo, you would like stand out. Like, oh, this dude has tattoos, he's a badass. But now everybody has tattoos. So it's more common. And so now you actually stand out more, I think, as a counterculture person, as a rebel, if you do not have tattoos. Because you're going against the popular consensus. So I like it. I'm not a big fan of tattoos um, on girlfriends either. I think the female body is so beautiful, and as it is, and so I like skin and skin tone, and I don't want to see like huge murals and stuff on in general. But that's just me. Again, everybody's different. Have you ever experienced Sasquatch or demonic entities in the woods? That's a good question. I have not. Not at all. Um, I think demons and Sasquatch and a lot of that stuff, I think it's mindset that calls it in. I'm not saying it's not real. I'm not saying it doesn't manifest in the third dimension, but I think it's your mindset that calls that stuff in. And I keep a pretty positive, upbeat mindset, and so I just, I don't really bring that energy in. That's just my opinion, though. I mean, again, I'm not an expert. I don't want to put anybody down that's experienced stuff. Um, but yeah, I have not. Carnivore got boring. Yeah, I agree with you. I had the same problem. Also, in order to really do carnivore right, like the ancestors, you got to eat the whole animal. You got to eat organs and glands and liver and kidney, and you have to eat. You can't like eating steaks and egg is not carnivore. I mean, it is, but it's not the proper way to do it. Lean muscle meat doesn't have the right nutrients that your body needs if that's all you're taking in. So to really do carnivore, you got to eat some weird stuff, and that just wasn't for me. Jesus loves you. Says, hey, dude, I like you. Watch what you say about diabetes. I have type 1. Got it when I was 8. Yeah, man. Again, I'm not trying to blame anybody, and I'm not saying for everybody, right? I'm not saying um, it's your fault for having diabetes, but diabetes is linked a lot of times to, I think, type 2 to overweight. If a lot of very large overweight people that have diabetes. So obviously, if you have a genetic predisposition or something that's out of your control, not your fault. But in general, a lot of diseases, I think, are caused by our environment. And not that it's even your fault, right? I think a lot of it can just be environmental. Places you grow up, chemicals you're exposed to. Maybe your dad sprayed your lawn with Roundup and you rolled around in a lawn covered in Roundup and now you have some weird cancer. I'm not even saying it's your fault or that you knew what happened, but I think a lot of the disease is environmental. Scott's asking about the third dimension. This is the third dimension. We live in the third dimension. 3D reality, that's everything you can see and touch and hear. The trees in the forest, the squirrels, that's all 3D. But if you believe in spirits and angels and Jesus, that stuff would be a different dimension. So demons would not be third dimension. That would be a different dimension. If you believe in like fairies and ghosts, that's a different dimension. Some people believe Sasquatch is interdimensional. He can travel between third dimension and then other dimensions. If you're someone that believes in like ascension and higher spirit bodies, that's going to be like 5 dimensions, 6 dimensions, 7 dimension. So um, some people believe, some people believe that uh, we're here on Earth in the third dimension, but there's other layers of reality that exist on top of us, and occasionally those other layers can cross into our layer. So if you think about like an onion, when you peel the layers off of the onion, the same thing could exist with our current reality. We're in the 3D, that's all we know, but there's stuff happening in other dimensions, like ghosts and spirits and aliens and fairies and demons. And I definitely think there's something out there. I looked a lot into all that stuff, and I definitely believe there's a lot going on. There's much more than just what we can see and touch and hear. Hush Whisper said, "Did you get my email concerning the pictures about wind energy?" Yes, I got your email about your invention. Honestly, I don't have time. I'm really busy, and I think it's cool, and I definitely wish you luck in figuring that out, but I don't have time to add to your project. I'm sorry. Dennis Ray says, I've seen, experienced spirits, angels, and demons. I believe it, man. Absolutely, I believe it. Scott says, I'm happy with that explanation. Thank you. You're welcome, Scott. I'm happy to know it worked out. I'm trying my best to explain it. It's, for some people, it's hard to fathom, it's hard to like comprehend. But I like to just think about stuff. It's interesting to think about, right? And there's so many things that are unexplained that, it kind of makes sense, right? Like all the UFO stuff, all the demon stories, the possession stories. There's so many stories and experiences people have. It's hard to just write it off and say that didn't happen, right? And so if we agree it did happen, it doesn't fit into our understanding of this current space we live in. So it means that all this stuff that's happening is happening outside of our current space. And so that's where you have to accept the fact that there's other things, other levels that we're just not aware of. And it's kind of wild. I like it. It's kind of exciting. There's a lot going on out there. I got a creepy crawler on my ceiling. Could be. I don't see it. It might have went away. Um, I get flies in here sometimes. Maybe it's a demon. Uh, I get flies in here sometimes. You open the door, they come in. It's weird. It's like you'll be out in the middle of the desert. You're walking around. There's no flies anywhere. You never run across a fly in the desert. But the minute you open the door to your van, all of a sudden there's a fly and it comes in your van. I don't understand how that works. It's mind-boggling. All right, I think we're about cooked up here. Looking good. Go ahead and turn the meat off. David says, I know you did a power test with your air conditioner running the whole time a video or two ago. Was wondering what level your batteries have been if it is at 70 degrees. I don't know what you mean by that, David. You mean if I set the air conditioner to be 70 degrees in here? Is that what you're asking? It's space time. Time came before space. There you go. I like it. Yeah, you know what's a good movie to watch is Interstellar. If you guys want a mind trip, watch the movie Interstellar. There's a lot of cool stuff there that kind of goes into space time, and I believe it. It makes sense. It's kind of cool to think about. Oh. Giggity Gig says, I don't have the sound on, but you must be looking for a bug. That's hilarious. Yeah, you're right. I don't know. Someone said there's a bug on the ceiling. I don't see it. So it must be hiding. It knows we're looking for it. Demon desert flies. Yeah, you got that right. How much energy do you consume at night? Um, I don't really know. Yeah, I took a hot model to Interstellar, but she married a rich guy. I don't know. How much energy do my batteries consume? And I mean, not that much, right? Like overnight, the only thing that's running overnight is my refrigerator. That's it. Everything else is off. Well, I guess, if it's hot out, the air conditioner could be running, but the places I stay at, like even here in Arizona, it cools down at night. So I turn the air conditioner off at night. I like to turn the air conditioner off, open the windows, let it air out. Also, I just like the breeze and I like to hear the birds, chirping and stuff at night. So, yeah, I sleep with the windows open. Let's see. I need a bowl. Oh, the bowl's in there. I need a glass dish, I guess. The sound isn't great. I don't know, man. Maybe it's you, or maybe it's I don't know. No one said anything. Can I get internet in here? I'm on the internet right now, bro. You're watching the internet. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, bro? Okay, I'm gonna let the food just cool down for a minute. The meat need to put into the instant pot. No, no, no. So I'll show you guys what we did. I'll give you a little summary of dinner here. So here's the meat cooked up with peppers and onion, and then here are these are actually sweet potatoes, even though they're white. Um, so yeah, sweet potatoes. So that's what we're gonna have tonight, and a tomato also. So I'm gonna serve that up right now. Oops, bonk. And the first thing I'm gonna do is put the extra meat into this glass dish. Let's see, I need a fork. Here's the fork. So, oop, oh, coming in hot, man. Hey, 10-second rule. I just cleaned the floor today, before the live stream. Um, so I'm putting all the extra meat that I'm not going to eat for dinner into this glass. I'll let it cool down, and then uh, that'll be lunch tomorrow. I might cook a little bit with breakfast. For breakfast, I usually do 4 eggs with meat, whatever meat I have left over. In this case, steak. And then I have either a whole tomato or an avocado, and that's usually my breakfast. And that's after the first thing I have in the morning when I wake up is bone broth. So I wake up, well, let me go back. I wake up, the first thing I do is I drink a full glass of water with salt and lemon. So one of these, I fill it with water, lemon juice, salt. I drink this. It's important to drink water first thing in the morning because all night you have not drank water and you've been breathing. And when you breathe, it actually consumes quite a bit of moisture. A lot of moisture goes out of your body through breathing. So it's important to hydrate first thing in the morning. So first thing I do is I drink a big glass of water with salt and lemon juice, and then I drink a cup of warm bone broth. So I have bone broth, and then I have a cup of coffee, and that's a good like foundation for me. And then usually at that point, I won't have anything else for a couple hours. I'll just kind of cruise on my water, bone broth, coffee, and then I'll do a breakfast, maybe like around 10, and I'll do eggs, um, like eggs and steak and a tomato or something, and then a light lunch, whatever I'm snacking on, and then I usually have a pretty solid dinner. So that's kind of the Nomad Bread meal plan. And then we're gonna dump in the extra potatoes here. Ooh, also we got butter in here because I put that chunk of butter on. So we're gonna have some nice buttery steak and potatoes. And then something else I do is because I keep it simple, I just eat everything out of this bowl, out of the same bowl. And so all my meals, it all just ends up like one big, like a Chipotle bowl or something. You know what I mean? It all gets mixed together. I know that's gross for some people because some people don't like different food touching. That's like a thing, but I don't care. So I just mix it, I just blend it all in, let it all touch and co-mingle. All the foods mingle and hang out before they enter my belly. And we got a pretty good looking setup here. I'm excited about it. What time is it? 8 o'clock p.m. We've been going for 2 hours. Um, I need I think my phone might die soon. The challenge is I can't check my battery level while I'm live streaming, while I'm in the YouTube app. And it seems like my iPhone can only go for 2 hours uh, before it like dies. So what I might do is take off the microphone and just plug in to power, uh, charge up my phone, and then I'll look at your guys' questions. We'll taste dinner, and then I'll let you guys go. Appreciate you for hanging out. The Nomad Brad cooking channel here. Pour the juices on top. It's good for you. We'll just scrape that all in. So if you notice the meal we cooked tonight, nothing artificial. We used olive oil to season the pan. We cooked a steak, potatoes, some raw veggies, and we use salt and pepper and some paleo powder as seasoning. All natural, all healthy, very clean ingredients, and so it's pretty easy to eat a simple, healthy lifestyle, and it doesn't have to be expensive. I mean, all the ingredients for this is probably $5, considering I only ate a third of a pound of beef, one sweet potato, and a couple peppers and a tomato. It's probably $5 worth of food. So compare that to a $5, you know, biggie box from Wendy's or something. You can eat pretty good quality food, pretty healthy, and it doesn't have to be expensive. All right. So we got that. We got the leftovers chilling. Ooh, I forgot to cut the tomato. Mm, let me just eat this first. I might wait on the tomato. We'll see. Okay. What do we got here? Move you guys over. All right. I'm gonna check the chat really quick, and I'm gonna plug in the phone because I have a feeling it's about dead. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. Hopefully the mic, or hopefully it automatically switches to the iPhone mic. Okay. We can hear you. All right. Geek with the social skills. Thank you for the confirmation. We're going to charge that baby up. Yeah, it was pretty low. It was in the red zone. In the red zone. The phone's really hot too. For some reason, live streaming just makes it really, really hot. Come on, man. Shut off. There you go. Okay. Let's dig in. All right. Let's check out the chat, see what's happening. Oh, I'm going to close the window. I left the window open from having the vent fan on. Okay, what did I cook? Steak and sweet potatoes and sweet peppers and onion. That is dinner tonight. I didn't really put any seasoning on it. It's good though. I put a little seasoning on the steak. Otherwise, just salt and pepper. It's still delicious. Okay. Let's get weird. We got a comment from Scott here. He says, my opinion is that when we go to sleep, we are a step closer to another dimension. Not to say that dreams are interdimensional. However, I feel at times we tap into another info stream during sleep. The sound isn't great. Yeah, I just took my microphone off. So now it's on the built-in mic. I had to take it off to charge the phone. Yeah, I like that. I think I've heard people say before that sleep is like actual reality, and when we're awake, we're dreaming, which is kind of crazy to think about. But what's interesting, if you look into sleep, like scientists that do brain scans on people when they're sleeping, mainstream media tells you that like when you're sleeping, your body's resting. And there is some truth to that. Your body repairs while you're sleeping, but the mind is very active while you're sleeping. Like they've done EKGs and stuff of people when they're sleeping, and there's all parts of your brain that are super active at night. And you have these big intense dreams and stuff. So there's definitely something happening inside your brain mentally or within your conscious while you're sleeping. I don't know. It's pretty crazy.
310 people in the chat. I appreciate it. Thank you, Kristen. Thanks for hanging out. Happy to have you here, giving us an update. Hey, we got 305 thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate everybody. Actually, right now, there's 297 people in the chat and 306 thumbs up. That's a fantastic ratio. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're enjoying the Nomad Brad show. We're hanging out, talking about life, living in vans, avoiding mortgages, eating healthy, not using deodorant. We're covering it all tonight. I confirm, G-Wiz, I confirmed too. Why didn't I get a thanks? What are you talking about, G-Wiz? Thank you. I appreciate you, brother. What's up? We can hear you good, man. Thank you, G-Wiz. I appreciate you letting me know. Dude, the chat goes by so fast. It's easy for me to miss stuff. It's not personal, my friend. I do as best I can. There's 300 people in here chatting. It's hard for one guy to keep up while he's making food and eating dinner. But I try to get to everybody I can. What do we got? What do we got? What's happening in the chat? Looks pretty good. I'd take a real potato, not a fan of yams. Yeah, it's not for everybody. I like a sweet potato. Gives it a little variety. But, I mean, with steak, real potato with steak is delicious. Nothing wrong with that. Geek with social skills says, aliens, Nomad Brad, good food, desert demon flies. What more can you ask for on a Wednesday evening? It gets crazy in the live streams. I'm glad you guys are cool. I mean, this is not like a conspiracy channel or a carnivore channel or a red pill channel. You know what I mean? But it's like, you know, we just keep an open mind and talk about what's interesting, what's on our minds. I'm glad you guys are at least open to it. And I don't have any really firm convictions on anything that I can't, you know, touch or feel, right? Like I just keep an open mind. So much stuff really can't be proven. So I feel like if you can't really prove something 100%, you know, keep an open mind, see what happens. Elizabeth Ann says, can you tell us more about your Starlink? I watched the video where you installed it. Thank you, Elizabeth. What would you like to know about Starlink? Tell me. Try to help you out. What would you like to know? I haven't used it yet. I installed it, but I haven't powered it up. I need to go online and activate it. I just haven't got around to it. The internet here in Yuma is fine, so I just haven't bothered. Bella Vi Bites says, bro, do you feel freedom of life now? Absolutely. Absolutely. I do. Yeah, I feel the most free I've ever felt in my life. You know, before I sold everything to live in a van, I had a business, I had a house, I had a girlfriend, I had cars, I had motorcycles, I had all that stuff. And I made good money, but I was so busy working, I never had time to enjoy it. I was always busy, I was always stressed, I couldn't take time off. And I was only in my early 30s. And I said, this can't be life. I can't just do this for 25 years and then hope I can retire one day. It didn't make any sense to me. Why do you want to fritter away the best years of your life at some job that you don't enjoy for some employer that doesn't really like you? They only have you there because they're making money off your back. Like, why would you want to do that? Sold everything. Never been happier. I feel amazing. So much less responsibility, more time. Someone asked about how much I work. I still work, you know, between YouTube and solar installs, I still work, but I'm not nearly as busy. On average, it's hard to say for sure with YouTube videos because it takes some time, but on average, I would say I probably work 30 hours a week. If, you know, but it's split up. Like I'll work for 3 hours here, you know, with YouTube stuff, 3 hours here, 4 hours here. I really don't spend more than 3 hours in a row at a computer. I can't do it. It hurts my eyes. So I break it up over the course of the week, and then in between I do whatever I want. So having that freedom is priceless. There's no boss telling you what to do. There's no really deadlines or, you know, expectations. Very enjoyable. Do you use soap to wash your hands and dishes? Yes, I do. Yeah, I use Dr. Bronner's Castile soap. I think that's probably the best quality, like purest soap you can get. I'm sure you guys have seen this stuff. They sell it at most the grocery stores. You can probably get it at Target or something. But this stuff is it's super clean. I'm trying to find the ingredients. Yeah. So this is soap, and I use this to wash my dishes and my body. I use it. This is what I use when I shower. Water, organic coconut oil, organic palm oil, organic olive oil, mentha arvenus, which I think is some kind of a plant extract, organic hemp seed oil, organic jojoba oil, citric acid. So it's all stuff you can pronounce. It says pure Castile soap is made from plant oils without synthetic detergents. So there you go. It's all plant-based. It's still soap. It foams up. It cleans, but it doesn't have a bunch of weird chemicals in it. Sammy's Pack says, I'm curious how Nomad Brad manages healthcare. I eat healthy and I exercise and I take care of my body and I don't require healthcare. Yeah, I stayed with Dr. Bronner's at Burning Man last year. They their camp is called Foamy Homies. They have a huge like a shower station where they wash everybody off with their soap. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I haven't been to a doctor. I couldn't even tell you when I went to the doctor last. I mean, it's been probably 20 years. I have no idea. I don't take medications. None of it. Again, I don't want to make people feel bad. If you got conditions and medications and, you know, you got to do what you got to do. But for me, I don't do it. And even my dad's, I forget how old he is. He's like 70. I don't know. He's in his 70s. But he eats relatively healthy. And I don't think he's on any medications. He takes vitamins and supplements, but I don't think he's on pharmaceuticals. Never really done that stuff. Same with my mom. We've never been into that. And, you know, the thing is, the more you go to doctors get paid and incentivized to prescribe medications to you. And medications have side effects. So you go to a doctor, they give you one pill, and then you have a side effect, and then you get another pill. It's a whole system they put you into on purpose to generate revenue off of you. You're the product for them. Again, not blaming anybody, but I'm saying if you go to doctors, they'll find reasons to give you medications, and before you know it, you're on 7 medications. Robert Izaldi. I keep seeing this question. How did you get into YouTube? Robert, anybody can get into YouTube. Anybody. All you have to do is make a YouTube channel. That's it. There's no getting into it, bro. You just make a YouTube channel. So I was living in a van, and I got into van life because I watched other van life YouTubers. So I got into van life, and I made a YouTube channel. And that's it. Here I am, and now we're talking, bro. Anyone can do it. Yeah, if you're a nomad and you have medical issues, you're gonna have to figure out if you can be covered for out of state, if you can go to a doctor out of state, with your insurance. But if not, you're gonna have to figure it out. You might not be able to be a nomad. You know, if you need some medical care and your insurance limits you to a certain state, you might be stuck. Revo Runner says the people with the nicest shit never have time to use it because they're too busy paying for it. I agree with you, man. I agree. Yeah, so many people with boats and all the toys, and they don't have time to use it. And I was in that boat, I was in that position. I had a convertible BMW and a motorcycle, and I just drove to work and back. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't out on the weekends cruising around. You know what I mean? On the weekends, I was like cleaning my gutters and working on projects on the house and taking my girlfriend out. I never got to ride my bikes. I ended up selling them all. Never got to go camping, vacationing, none of that. I was just working all the time. 5-6 days a week. I frequently worked 6 days a week for probably 15 years. The whole time I was doing heating and cooling. And then when I owned a car stereo shop, I worked 6 days a week often. It was a nightmare. I never had time to do anything. The one day I would have off, I'd have to go grocery shopping and do laundry and clean the house. And then I got to go back to work. That's not even living. You're literally a slave. You're a slave, you just can't, you don't realize it because you're driving around in a new car. Petroleum. Eunice says petroleum-based medicine too. Yeah, absolutely. Most of pharmaceuticals are also made out of petroleum. Everything comes out of, fossil fuels, petroleum, chemicals. It's crazy. And we're raised to believe, like medicine is this magical gift, but it's like if your body's sick and unhealthy, like how can they fix a sick and unhealthy body by pumping in petroleum-based chemicals? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, your body needs sunlight and fresh air and clean water and healthy food, right? I don't know that adding a bunch of petrochemicals is going to help. Clearly it does. Some people need medication. But in general, I don't know about all that. Dallas says, do you recommend buying a box truck and living in it and building up over time, or doing the build first? You can do it either way. I've always bought my vehicles and then just built them as I live in them over time, because I've never been in a position where I had enough free time. Here's the thing, guys. It takes a long time to do a box truck build, especially if it's your first build. I'm talking 6 to 12 months. If you're going to do this, if you're going to try to do this, 6 to 12 months. So and that's if you're doing it like, put in a lot of time, a lot of hours per week. So most people don't have that type of free time. And if you do it just on the weekends as a hobby, it's going to take you years. I know people that have been building out their rigs for years. because they're doing it on the weekends. So, I mean, it depends how serious you are and where you're at financially, but I would say just buy the thing, get the minimums in it, and then just hit the road and then build it as you go. That's what I've always done. That's what I'm doing on the next build. I'm going to be living in it from day one. Build it as I go. What were the biggest challenges of your first build? Well, my first build was my cargo van. The biggest challenge was I had never been a nomad, so I didn't know what I needed. So I bought a lot of stuff and brought a lot of stuff in the first van that I did not use. Also, my electrical was too small. I only had 200 watts of solar and a 200 amp hour AGM battery. It was enough. I was able to run a DC fridge and use my Instant Pot and charge a laptop, but that's it. And if we got cloudy days, I was in trouble. But yeah, that was it really. I brought too much stuff, too much like material possessions. Mr. Mann says the last guy who told me he hadn't been to the doctor in 30 years died prematurely. Yeah, I hear you, man. There's two sides to that coin, right? Because going to a doctor, you can get screened for potential illnesses and cancers that could be prevented. Like, I mean, I'm 39. There's people 10 years younger than me that have died from prostate cancer, right? I could have prostate cancer right now and not even know it. I'm just rolling the dice. But that's the path I've chosen. So whatever happens, I'll take the consequences. Diana says food is the best medicine. I agree with you, Diana. Violet says I'm old enough to be your mom, almost 71. No meds here, but supplements for my hip bones. Was fine till I had a bad fall. Hey, Violet, happy to have you here. Happy to hear about you and your success. 71, no medications. It's not hard, you know. There's a lot more people doing it than you would think. I'm happy to hear about it. Ace of Spades says they blocked my comment on those shots they tried to make everyone get. I feel you, bro. You gotta watch out. The people they're listening. The system doesn't want you going against it. You know what I mean? It can't have it. You gotta stay in line. System wants you to stay in line. Ted says, I think you have to be careful not to discourage people from getting science-based medical treatment if they're not feeling well. Yes, medicine is imperfect, but for those who are ill, it's best to go. Hey, Ted, yeah, I do not discourage anyone from seeking medical treatment. I'm not a doctor. I'm not an expert. I'm not even a medical researcher. I'm just explaining the things for me and the things that I do. And yeah, you're all responsible for your own body. So, and like I said, some people, they have issues. They need medications. I'm not making a blanket statement. I'm not accusing anybody. But it's pretty hard to look at the way the medical system is structured and the way doctors are incentivized and the way there's ads for drugs all over television. You ever watch television at like 7 o'clock at night, network television? Every other commercial is for a drug, a pharmaceutical. That's illegal in most countries around the world. There's only like a few countries in the entire world that allow pharmaceutical drugs to be advertised on television. America's one of those. So you have to ask yourself why they're doing that. Is it because they want people really healthy, or is it because they want to make a bunch of money off sick people? And then you have to look at the health of Americans. And if you look at a global scale, America's very unhealthy, very disease-ridden, chronically ill. How can the country that has the most pharmaceutical advertisements also be the sickest country? How could that be? You just got to think, you just got to keep your mind open. Keep your mind open, my friends. Do not follow the lemmings off the cliff. Kristen says we moved in and started building. Today was finishing another wall and putting in server rack batteries and hanging the inverter. AJ's killing it on the build. Hell yeah, Kristen, happy to hear it. Happy to hear big homies coming along, getting that box truck dialed in. I'll be looking forward to coming through and seeing you guys at Schoolie Palooza next year. D Free Sports Talk says, how often do you see your family? It's a good question. And that is another reason I love this lifestyle. I've been here in Yuma all winter, hanging out with my dad. I drove up to Apache Junction a few months ago to visit my mom. I spent a week at my mom's place. And after I leave my dad's here in Yuma, I'm going to go back and visit my mom again. So one great thing about van life is I can take that time off. When I was working before, I was so busy, I couldn't even call my parents, let alone hang out with them. You get 2 weeks a year. You're probably not going to take 2 weeks of vacation to hang out with your parents. As much as you love them, it's just like, you get 2 weeks of vacation, you want to do something for yourself after grinding all year. But now I have the freedom to do that. And if I was living in a house somewhere, paying mortgage, paying rent, paying insurance, paying electricity, working 50, 60 hours a week, I wouldn't be able to. Just be in my house all alone, paying bills, watching TV, waiting to die. All right, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up. It's 8:30. We did a marathon stream tonight, 2.5 hours. We talked about it all. Talked about solar and van life in San Diego. It's getting crowded in San Diego. Be careful parking down there. We made dinner, cooked some steak. Talked about aliens and demons and eating healthy and using Dr. Bronner's soap instead of Old Spice deodorant. Talked about everything. Appreciate you guys for being here. We have 347 likes, 252 people watching. We got super chats. I appreciate all you guys. I'm going to have a video going live Sunday. That'll be my solar install that I did a few days ago. So tune in Sunday for that. And then next Wednesday, I'll be live again. It'll probably be my last live stream in Yuma. After that, I plan to hit the road, head north, visit mom, do some traveling, all the stuff. So that's it for me. Appreciate you guys. This is Nomad Brad signing out. Peace.